So then, in this video, we're reacting to what if Anakin and Ahsoka were at the temple when it was bombed. This Star Wars what if is made by the Star Wars Galaxy, so make sure to subscribe to him and check his original video, links in the description. Subscribe to me as well, as we are trying to reach 1,000 subscribers at the end of 2024. And one quick question before we start the video: would you guys want me to make my own Star Wars footage, just like the ones reacting to these videos? Let me know in the comments, yes or no, and without further ado, let's get to the video.
What if Anakin Skywalker and Ahsoka were at the Jedi Temple when it was bombed during the Clone Wars? That's our story for today.
Let's go.
Hope you guys enjoy, and let's get right into
do it.
Our story begins on Coruscant as Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker and his Padawan, Ahsoka Tano, walk through the Jedi Temple. For the first time in a long time, things were relatively calm for the two Jedi.
Yeah,
they were supposed to be dispatched recently to the Battle of Cato Nemoidia, but Jaro Tapal and his Padawan Cal Kestis finished their battle on a nearby planet, and they were able to get to Cato Nemoidia much quicker.
Cool.
This would give Anakin and Ahsoka some free time, and Anakin suggested a training session. It had been a while since Ahsoka trained outside of direct combat, and Anakin wanted to see how much she had progressed when surrounded against the 501st clones. They were going to travel to the Coruscant training facility for the clones.
Oh, I remember this from, what was it, Tales of the Jedi? Yeah, that was cool.
And together,
that's how she survived Order
would
66.
walk into the Jedi Temple hangar, where Rex and a couple of clone gunships were waiting to take them down to the training area. As Ahsoka and Anakin were boarding the ships, Anakin's comlink began to beep, and Ahsoka gave him a sly smile before telling Anakin to take the message.
Yeah, take it.
He'll be here when he's done. Anakin shook his head with a laugh, saying he's sure it's not that important. But still, he hurried out of the temple hangar and into an empty hallway to see it was Padme.
Of course.
Anakin was, of course, always happy to see her.
What a surprise.
And Padme said she heard Anakin was called from the Cato Nemoidia battle, and she said perhaps they can spend the evening together. Anakin said that would be perfect, but first he is going to give Ahsoka a training lesson.
Okay.
Padme smiled, telling Anakin to tell Ahsoka that she says hello, and her and Anakin said goodbye for now.
Goodbye.
Anakin was happy. Today was a good day.
Indeed.
But then everything would change.
Not for long. Yep.
As Anakin turned around and began moving back towards the temple hangar doors, a deafening explosion erupted in the hangar.
Oh shit.
And Anakin was thrown backwards through the temple halls, slamming hard into a wall as he began to grasp what just happened.
No.
Alarms were blaring as fire and smoke was spreading around. Anakin scrambled back to his feet, sprinting towards the temple hangar. As he ran inside and was looking through the heavy smoke, Anakin heard coughing, cries of pain all around, and he noticed that the area of the hangar where the clone gunships just stood was the most affected area.
Oh shit.
Dozens of Jedi were now in here with Anakin, rushing the wounded out of the hangar, and Anakin was scrambling through the wreckage to
Rex and
find Ahsoka and his men. Anakin soon would see 501st clone after clone dead in the wreckage.
No.
And this group included Captain Rex.
No! No! He
was gone. Anakin fell to his knees as he looked at all of the fallen clones, Jedi, and maintenance workers in here.
Shit.
His ears were ringing, and his head felt like it was spinning, as he barely heard a voice calling to him. It was Mace Windu, and Anakin ran over to him to see what he wanted. Windu was kneeling down next to Ahsoka Tano, and he looked up at Anakin, silently shook his head.
No. No. Ahsoka and Rex?
Anakin felt numb.
Anakin is about to go into the villain arc, bro.
He wanted to hide. He wanted revenge.
Oh, shit.
The need for revenge was circulating in his mind until he couldn't take it anymore. Ahsoka was dead, and he stormed out of the hangar, through the halls of the temple, and all the way to the stairs overlooking Coruscant, as he was taking deep breaths, trying to focus on finding out who did this. Of course, Anakin had no real leads, so instead, as he ventured into Coruscant, he just ended up in Padme's apartment, telling her what happened. Inside of the temple, the council urgently was gathered, as they would assign Obi-Wan, Mace Windu, and Shakti to handle this investigation. It would have been Anakin and Ahsoka leading it, if not for the tragedy that just took Ahsoka's life. And so, the Jedi would soon get to work, investigating exactly what took place inside of the temple hangar. The investigations into the temple bombings would take days, and Anakin's mind was in a state of confusion, anger.
See, originally it was Anakin investigating this shit on his own or some shit, from what I remember, and of course he found out that it was Barriss. But I wonder if these guys are gonna find it out.
And hatred until the funeral. 10 total Jedi, 30 clones, 20 temple employees died in the explosion.
Damn.
And Anakin was able to find some peace at the grand funeral for all of it. And even with Anakin off the investigation, The Jedi would pursue all sorts of different leads until eventually Obi-Wan Kenobi was able to arrest Letta Termund as she confessed to taking part in the bombing by having nanodroids infused with mini-bombs ingested by her husband, who worked in the temple. Obi-Wan, known by the
someone made her do it, and it was Barriss.
Separatists as the negotiator, would put his skills to work with Letta before she was taken away by Republic security, trying to find out as many details as possible. And Letta would soon be convinced by Obi-Wan that she should reveal the truth. The two of them were secluded in the temple, and this allowed Letta to reveal that Barriss Offee guided her in everything.
Oh shit, so this time, because I remember, when Ahsoka went to Letta's cell in the Clone Wars, Barriss choked her to death through the vents. But this time, Letta was able to say it.
This revelation came just days after the bombing, and Obi-Wan would bring this extremely secret information to the Council. But first, he had to let Anakin know that the Council was closing in on the true enemy of the bombing. Obi-Wan could see that his former student was struggling greatly with all of it, and so he wanted to give Anakin some closure, telling him that Barriss would soon be in custody.
Anakin is gonna kill her. Anakin is going to kill Barriss.
Didn't mean to say her name, and he didn't even realize that he did. Anakin didn't react, hoping Obi-Wan would leave him, and so he did, going to the Council to inform them that Barriss was the mastermind. But Anakin had what he needed, a name for his revenge. He turned the opposite way, walking quickly through the temple halls until he came upon Barriss's
to be honest, she fucking deserves it.
Orders. Anakin didn't knock, he just slid the door open with the Force, and he closed it behind him. Barriss was meditating, but before she could even get a word out, Anakin reached out, grabbing her by the throat with the Force, slamming Barriss against the wall. Barriss struggled to breathe, grasping at her throat. She could feel the darkness boiling inside of Anakin, and Barriss reached out, throwing the 4 lit candles in here at Anakin with the Force as his robes caught on fire. Anakin tossed the main robe aside as Barriss fell down to the floor, calling 2 blades into her hands.
Hey, it's Ventress's blades. Oh, we're gonna have that epic duel between them again where Anakin shat on her.
She, too, was now engulfed in the dark side as she force-pushed Anakin out of the room. Anakin flew out, slamming hard into the wall, before looking up as Barriss was moving out of her quarters to face him. Anakin picked his saber back up, noticing the hilt was cracked, revealing his kyber crystal. This was no matter. The saber still worked, and his blade clashed with Barriss's red blades as they moved through the temple halls, scattering nearby Jedi as they fought. Inside of the council chambers, Obi-Wan was delivering the report to the council about what Letta told him. Barriss Offee was the Jedi mastermind behind the bombing. The council was discussing their best options to remove Barriss from the Order, sending her to prison, while also trying to convince the Republic Senate that the Jedi are not a threat to the galaxy. It was no secret that the people no longer saw the Jedi as true heroes, but now more so as warmongers. But the Jedi felt they had no choice but to fight. Either way, their discussions were interrupted as a temple guard rose through the elevator, urgently informing the council that Anakin is fighting Barriss Offee, and the two of them are fighting in the temple right now.
Oh shit.
Among the 12 council members, only 4 of them were currently on planet, and they were Yoda, Obi-Wan, Windu, and Shaak-Ti. The 4 Jedi Masters would leave the chambers, spreading out across the temple to try and find Anakin and Barriss. In the temple garden outside, Anakin and Barriss continued their battle, with Anakin clearly gaining the upper hand.
Of course.
Barriss was on the defense, moving through the temple, trying to escape and wear Anakin down, but it was no use. His pursuit was unmatched as Anakin sought revenge. Once in the flowers near the Great Tree, Anakin perfectly executed a move, cutting through both of Barriss's sabers, elbowing her in the face. She fell hard to the ground, looking up to see Anakin. A dark vengeance burned in his eyes as he lifted his blade for the kill. But as Anakin swung down, his blade was stopped mid-swing. Yoda found Anakin, and he was reaching out with one hand, easily holding Anakin's swing in place. But this only angered Anakin. He called upon the Force to continue his swing, slowly breaking free of Yoda's grasp, as Yoda now urgently reached out 2 hands. He was quickly using more and more power, trying to stop Anakin from killing Barriss in cold blood. But Anakin was too powerful. His saber slowly continued forward with one hand, while he held Barriss in place with the other. Yoda watched as Anakin's blue saber was slowly being infected with Anakin's dark power.
Okay, that's one thing I don't like. That's the bullshit from the Acolyte. That's not how it works. Like, it takes time. Your saber doesn't just turn red all of a sudden.
Bottom blue began to bleed, the saber turning red from the exposed crystal as Anakin poured his anger into it. He was overpowering Yoda.
That's not how it works. I mean, I get that you're trying to use the reference from the Acolyte, but that's not how it works. You know, it takes weeks and weeks of meditation and pouring your anger into the crystal to make it red. You know.
But right as Anakin was about to kill Barriss and cement himself in darkness, Anakin heard the sound of a bird flying through the air. It was Morai, the Mortis daughter bird, and in the wind, Anakin thought he heard the voice of Ahsoka say,
Oh.
"Anakin, stop." And in this moment of hesitation, it allowed Yoda to swiftly push Anakin to the ground as temple guards arrested Barriss. Yoda was extremely concerned as he looked upon the struggling Anakin. From here, Barriss would be placed in a maximum security prison, and Anakin would be taken inside of the temple, where Yoda, Obi-Wan, Windu, and Shakti would each be with him, meditating with Anakin, trying to rid him of the darkness inside.
That ain't happening.
All of them knew that Anakin struggled with his emotions when it came to losing someone close to him. That was the whole reason that Anakin was given a Padawan in the first place, but clearly he hadn't overcome these emotions.
Yeah.
Ahsoka's death set him off. There was no telling what would happen if something happened to Obi-Wan, or, Obi-Wan thought, to
You already know what happened.
Padme. For days, the Jedi would try and
Yeah, if Padme died, that's it. Anakin's killing everyone.
be with Anakin, and for weeks Anakin would be kept away from the battlefront until he was deemed ready to return to the fighting. The Republic was desperate for his leadership in battle, and so maybe even against the Jedi's best judgment, Anakin returned to the fighting. Perhaps the biggest change in everything was Anakin's relationship to Palpatine.
Okay, interesting. Okay. And by the way, now he is fighting without Ahsoka. She's dead, but not only without Ahsoka, Rex is also gone. So
Blamed Ahsoka's death on Barriss first of all, but second on the war dragging on. The Jedi and the people were tired of it, and they snapped, bombing the temple. And afterward, no efforts were made to try and bring peace to the war. Anakin now could see what Padme saw. Maybe Palpatine was as corrupt as the rest, continuing this war for his own gain.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, Anakin would lock in on the war at hand, and he would fight for his men. Without Rex and a handful of others from the bombing, the morale of the 501st was down, but Anakin did return to fight with them, and it helped a lot. And in time, they would fight better than ever, fighting for the honor and memory of Rex, Ahsoka, and the others who fell. Battles would come and go, weeks would fly by, and in a crucial moment of the war, Separatist leader Poggle the Lesser would be captured by Anakin on the planet Seleucami.
Oh, we know what happened then in the Clone Wars. He was fucking being a menace on Poggle, bro.
Along with crucial battle plans, communications between the leaders of the Separatists. Poggle was in charge of extremely secret plans under the name DS-1, and upon his capture,
Death Star 1.
Anakin found a new report from Poggle that said the planet Utapau was recently found to be the home of extremely large kyber crystals. And his report stated that Dooku, Grievous, and one other secret Separatist leader would be going to investigate Utapau.
Sidious.
Anakin informed the Council of their discovery, and the Council knew they had an excellent opportunity in their hands. This third leader had to be Sidious himself, and so they discreetly dispatched Yoda and Obi-Wan to meet with Anakin at a rendezvous point before the three of them would take off for Utapau
Only
together.
them?
On Utapau.
I mean, they can probably do it, but like, I don't know.
Sidious did meet with Dooku and Grievous inside of a hidden cave, where a giant kyber crystal was shown to them. It was rare for Sidious to leave Coruscant as a Sith, but these crystals would power the Death Star. He had to see them for himself. He didn't expect Poggle to be captured and mess everything up. So as the three Separatist leaders investigated the crystal, Sidious began to sense something. Jedi were here. As the Sith were moving towards their ship, Yoda, Obi-Wan, and Anakin were closing in. They used a mind trick on a Pauan guard to get him to reveal where the Separatists landed their ship, and the three Jedi moved in with urgency to the landing platform, arriving to the platform just in time to see Grievous and Dooku's empty ships. The Jedi stood here, waiting, until finally Dooku and Grievous arrived. Dooku told the three Jedi that their coming here was a mistake, and he ignited a red lightsaber, while Grievous ignited his 4 blades, telling the Jedi they die today. The narrow platforms of Utapau would quickly echo with the clash of their lightsabers, as Yoda, Obi-Wan, and Anakin faced off against Dooku and Grievous.
Yeah, Grievous
Yoda's
and Dooku ain't winning this duel, but like, where's Sidious? Is he just gonna surprise attack them?
Blade whirled around as he flipped around through the air, meeting Dooku's red saber in a battle of light and dark. Their duel was a blend of acrobatics and precision, the Force crackling around them, as meanwhile Obi-Wan and Anakin were taking on Grievous, with a coordinated assault, their blades striking with a perfectly combined strategy against the General's whirling blades. Grievous had his foreblades carving arcs of light through the air, and with a sudden thunderous kick, Grievous sent Anakin flying across the platform, skidding to the edge of it all. As Anakin rose to his feet, something caught his attention. He caught sight of a shuttle in the near distance, its engines igniting as it prepared to take off.
Sidious.
And Anakin could feel the dark presence inside of the shuttle. A surge of determination fueled him, and he broke away from this battle, sprinting towards the departing vessel. And as Anakin ran, Obi-Wan continued to engage Grievous, each blow more desperate as their battle raged on, while Yoda and Dooku's duel intensified. The shuttle was taking off, but Anakin threw his lightsaber into the engines, then held the ship in place with the Force as it quickly came crashing down to the platform. Anakin held his blue blade once more, hearing the sounds of the other duel way in the distance, as the shuttle ramp lowered, revealing a hooded man as he ignited a red lightsaber. Sidious decided it was time to kill Anakin right now, to preserve his own life and the legacy of the Sith. And like a shadow, Sidious spun from the ramp, striking at Anakin. Anakin was barely able to deflect the initial onslaught, fighting back against the man he now knew to be Sidious. The two of them moved along a narrow edge, strike after strike sending sparks into the rock wall, as Anakin struggled to keep up with the extremely fast Sith Lord. But in a daring move, he swung under a strike from Sidious, then flipped to pull down his hood. Anakin landed behind the Sith
Oh shit, he's gonna reveal it's Palpatine.
Lord, as Sidious slowly turned, and Anakin was filled with shock and denial. In front of him stood Chancellor Palpatine. His yellow eyes burned with determination, as he knew now he had to finish Anakin off. With extreme strength, Sidious swung at Anakin, and the Jedi blocked it, but the power knocked him to the ground. Anakin scrambled back to his feet, now at the ledge of the cliff overlooking the water, and Sidious slammed his blade down on him once more. Sidious yelled out that Anakin will die, and now he is going to kill Obi-Wan, Yoda, and the entire Jedi Order.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sidious laughed as he swung down again. Anakin blocked it, desperately holding the blade back, but it was no use. Sidious swung so hard that Anakin was knocked off of the ledge, falling far down into the Utapau waters. Sidious turned, satisfied. No one could survive that fall. He turned to now help Dooku and Grievous.
We saw what happened with Obi-Wan. Oh shit, he's gonna help Grievous and Dooku. Oh god.
Defeat their Jedi enemies. In the Utapau water, Anakin was completely submerged as he felt himself go unconscious. But yet, it felt as if he were still awake. He opened his eyes, looking around, only to see that the Utapau atmosphere was gone.
Wait.
Instead, he was surrounded by
He's in a world between worlds?
stars. He stood on some sort of translucent pathway, and an echoing voice called out to Anakin, calling him Sky Guy. Anakin turned around,
Ahsoka.
and he saw her. Ahsoka? Back on Utapau, Yoda and Obi-Wan had the upper hand in their battles. They were going to defeat Dooku and Grievous, but little did they know that Darth Sidious was rapidly approaching them with intent to kill. The Jedi needed help. And in the world between worlds, Anakin asked Ahsoka what was going on. Is he dead? Ahsoka smiled, saying that he lost the fight, and Anakin now remembered all of it. Sidious. Palpatine. Anakin said he needs to get back. He still didn't understand how he was here. He wanted to hug Ahsoka, to apologize, and Ahsoka could sense this, telling Anakin it's alright, and she said it's time for him to learn to move on. In this world between worlds, Ahsoka was tasked with teaching Anakin how to let go, to learn to accept that if Anakin tries to stop death, to stop the future from coming to pass, he will only cause destruction.
Yeah.
Ahsoka would show Anakin a reality where he was killing Jedi of all ages in the temple. She showed him a reality where he was fighting with Obi-Wan on Mustafar, a reality where he became Darth Vader. Ahsoka was showing Anakin that he must fight for his friends, but he must do it out of love, not for fear of loss, or he will become the very thing he has sworn to destroy.
Yep.
And when Ahsoka saw that Anakin understood, she took him to Christophsis through a portal, and together they sat on the same area that they once sat together after Ahsoka's first mission. Ahsoka told Anakin that she couldn't have asked for a better teacher, and Anakin thanked her as he slowly began to wake up on Utapau. On the landing platform, Obi-Wan cut through all four of Grievous's arms and had him surrendering. Yoda knocked Dooku's blade away and had him defeated, but Darth Sidious arrived, blasting lightning into the two Jedi, laughing as they were dying, burning from the lightning. But as Sidious did this, he felt something new. Not just power, but clarity, peace, determination. Anakin. And Anakin leapt up from the rock wall,
crap.
lightsaber ignited as he landed in front of the lightning, deflecting it back at Sidious. The Sith Lord yelled out in surprise as the lightning was turned back on him, burning through him as both Yoda and Obi-Wan stood by Anakin's side now, using the Force to deflect the lightning away from them, and into Dooku, Grievous, and Sidious,
Oh,
who
shit.
were trying to get away.
They're fucked.
In seconds, Sidious, Dooku, and Grievous were engulfed by it, and the landing platform exploded, falling to the ground as the three Separatist leaders were taken down once and for all. The Jedi managed to get away as it fell, and Yoda and Obi-Wan looked to Anakin. He seemed happier, at peace. Something clearly happened, but they had a war to finish before anything else.
Yep.
And with the deaths of Dooku and Grievous, along with Palpatine, Anakin would speak to the Senate, telling them everything about the former Chancellor. The galaxy loved Anakin. He was a hero to the Republic. Palpatine
Because of
ensured
Palpatine.
it. And it all backfired today, as Skywalker was able to convince the galaxy of Palpatine's secret life as a Sith. Padme Amidala stepped in to lead the Republic. She was so close to peace in the past, and now within days, the war efforts would conclude as the Separatists would surrender, negotiating peace between the two sides, as the galaxy was tired of this war.
Yep.
Anakin Skywalker would go on to live his life as a true Jedi, learning to make genuine connections with people, but also understanding that in time, everyone will pass on, and that is simply the way of things. He could not live in fear of loss, or he would become everything he always hated. So through the years, Anakin would rise through the Order, with Chancellor Amidala by his side,
Okay.
as the Order and the Republic would thrive together. And folks, that is our story for
Pretty nice story, man. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I think it deserves a 9 out of 10. Not quite a 10 out of 10, but a pretty dang good story. I mean, Ahsoka and Rex die, like, holy crap. Anakin goes sicko mode. And, yeah, he gets taken in the War Between Worlds, fucks the Sith. And boom, good ending there. So, 9 out of 10 for this story. Let me know what you guys would rate in the comment section down below if you agree with my 9 out of 10 rating, or if you don't, and why or why not. And yeah, that's it. 9 out of 10.
So that is it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to subscribe to the Star Wars Galaxy and check his original video. Links in the description. Subscribe to me as well, as we're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2024. Like the video if you enjoyed, and turn on notifications to be notified the next time I post a video like this. Share this video with anybody you know, and make sure to join my Patreon to get some exclusive perks for the channel, and join my Discord server, which is free. Links in the description to both of those things. And one quick question before we end the video. Would you guys want me to make our own Star Wars spoilers, just like ones reacting to these videos? Let me know in the comments, yes or no. I appreciate any feedback in the comments on anything else. And yeah, that is it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. This is the May the 4th be with you. Till then, I will see you next time.
Hey, you didn't watch it? Well, check out this video on the left side of the screen, which is specifically recommended for you, or check out the playlist on the right of the screen, which contains similar videos to this one, made by me, of course. Hey, remember, subscribe.